Hey guys, my name is Pappus and today I want to show you like a little promo trap guide for Darwin project. So the purpose is, to make you go from this
Yeah, okay. Nice.
to like something more like this.
Ah, you don't need that fire.
Fuck me.
It's the only way to get him!
I don't.
He's an animal!
Think.
Or this.
Bro, what are you doing? Oh my god.
It's called rape. You don't like the rapes?
And I often get the comment like from people that, for example, I cover a game for 6 months, and after 5 months they find me like, oh, why did I know? Do you existed sooner? Well, yeah, that's because my marketing sucks, and this is, to remedy that. I know it's disgusting. Let's shiver together. Marketing. Okay. With that said, it's short. It's not feature complete like my usual guides. The purpose is to teach you guys, and I don't want you to read 10 guides, 15 guides to get good. I want you to read one guide about one topic. That's mine, and that should cover it. That's why they usually take a long time. They're pretty long. So check it out. Do you like the content? Is this your style? Then you don't need to go look further. You will find everything here. That said, let's go. Alright, let us start like with some generic things about the traps. First off, traps will clip through object. That means, for example, if we have like, this is a mountain and we decide to stay here and do a cage, then this part here is inside the mountain. It cannot be triggered, but this here could also be triggered. Now, if instead it's a tree, for example, then, and the cage goes like this, then obviously this here is unreachable terrain that can't be triggered, but all the rest, if someone steps in there, like if you can step there, it can be caged and tripped there. Alright, that's like, and if you can step on something, that means it can be caged and tripped. And what I often got is like, are your enemies retarded? Why do they step into the traps? Because unlike most games in Darwin, if you sprint, let's just say sprint for now, if you sprint, enemy traps are completely invisible to you, unless like you use radar, which spots them. But if you go slow, you will see a black outlet. Yeah, like you can see them. So if you think there might be a trap, just pause for a bit, and you will spot it. If an enemy is shielded and he runs into your tripwire, the invincibility bubble. If he runs into a tripwire, he still gets tracked, but he gets not tripped. If he goes into a bear trap, it just pops. If he goes into a cage, that still works normally. So that's it for the general stuff. Now let us go to tripwires. Tripwires are among the most used trap because let's say the effective range is pretty big because that's a huge line. It will be angled at 90 degrees to you. So it makes, let's say this is a house, right? And you go into the middle. And if you place it, it's big enough to like get outside on the left and the right. So that means if an enemy walks like here, he still gets tripped. Or if he goes inside, he also gets tripped. So they have like a huge range if you compare to bear traps. But also you can do something sophisticated like corner traps, right? He wants to go for this window. From any direction, he will be right outside the window and knocked down. Because that's like a two-part component. First, the tripwire will track your target, or let's say that's actually a reveal. So everyone on the map can see that target for 30 seconds. And it will cause like a trip animation. During this trip animation, your target cannot move, it cannot swing, it cannot draw the bow. It literally, the only thing it can do is activate electronics, for example, shield, jump, stuff like that. So that means that you can relatively safely combo it into different stuff, right? Your opponent cannot really act, so you could place a bear trap, you could place a cage, you could hit him. And that's what you see mostly people do. They will just use a tripwire, draw their bow, and make a hit. That's a bad play because you can do way more than this. The only time you want to like just hit is in an example like this, which is a wall bounce.
Oh shit.
Easy, 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 easy. Try better next time, okay?
Fuck you.
Because tripwires clip through objects, right? This here is more or less an example for when you are first in the house and you set it up with traps. But of course, if your enemy is inside this, nothing is preventing you to stand here and tripwire like this, you know, and you try to hit him. Or trees. Your opponent might be here, or you're here. But there is like one more thing. If you like combat trapping, right? Let's say I'm gonna actually let's zoom in. Let's make it the tree a bit bigger. Your opponent is here and you are here. That's a very common situation for like you have him tracked, he has you tracked. You know, nobody's gonna peek. So now let's say you assume he's going this way. Where should you trap? If you trap like this, he can already see you're like doing something, right? But more importantly, traps are destroyed by swing or by arrows. That means, like if he's going for like to try and melee swing you here, he's around starting his swing around here. That means this tripwire just gets deleted automatically as he approaches. It's a bad trap. The only way this is gonna work is if you move away, right, or like around, so that then he has a reason not to swing at you. Correct way is, if you assume that he's going this way, is to face like this and trap this line. You literally want to tripwire into his path so that he has no chance to avoid it. Okay? So then he is sitting right here at your mercy, and that is when the cage comes in. You run up to him and you cage him, and then you're in a situation. You are here, he is here, the cage is set, you hit him, and he will bounce against the wall. Now, the trick is to hit him as late as you can. The longer you wait with your hit, the more tempted your enemy is to try and deflect that swing, that initial swing that you do instantly. That means then you have swung, you hit him, but in his panic he tried to swing as well to parry your hit. He's now swinging and colliding with the wall. He does not hit you. Now, since you swung first, you go in again and swing again. It's impossible for him to be in time to parry it because it already didn't work the first time. So the only correct response for your enemy is to take the hit and calm down. Never happens.
That is unlucky.
GG.
Northeast.
Alright, so then let us go here with the cages. Cages don't necessarily need a tripwire to be set up. You can actually teleport in and out, not power leap, teleport. You can teleport in and out. You can use corner traps at houses like this.
A new electronic is available.
Arrow kill.
6 players remaining.
Oh man.
Axe kill.
Looks like you got jebaited.
Pretty much like the tripwire. So it's not necessarily that you have to cage yourself with the enemy, but you can. It's pretty strong because you have all the advantages in a cage fight. All of them are on you. Why do we even go through the trouble of like putting this cage in a corner, right? What is wrong with just a cage in the open field? The problem is twofold. This cage is longer, like let's say this is your swing reach. That means your enemy is inside now, like he just turns this way and hammers his way out of here, right? Like that's the only way the cage is gonna disappear, is if he's gonna hit it several times, or you. Your damage also counts. Now, of course, you can try and shoot through the holes, but it's actually a lot easier said than done. The cage currently has hitbox issues, like it looks like your arrow should go through a hole, but it just hits an invisible wall, stuff like that. And sometimes you hit clearly wood and it still goes through. Don't do it, you know, like if you can, try to minimize the space he can move. Let's say this here, he won't be even able to move 1 inch. He's just rooted in place for the whole duration. Now here, there is a special case with windows. You can make one-way cages. Let's say this is a window, okay? And there is a cage here. If you initiate the jump here, you will leap and you will end up inside the cage. But the same cannot be said from this side. From this side, you cannot jump out. So for example, if you have like a house wall like this, let's say the window is here, you put one here on the outside, and at your will, you can jump into the cage. Another thing you can do, if you have like an open corner like this, you can still clip with tripwires through it, you know, and then he gets knocked down, you run the other way around, bang him, or even put a beer trap. If he's really close to the border, you can put a beer trap down and then hit him. Stuff like that. Like as I said, this is meant to be relatively short, so I can't go into great details. Best move, tripwire into cages. If you don't have time for the cage, at least try to bounce your enemy against an object so you get follow-up hits, like in the video I demonstrated. Cage is the same. Try to limit the space of your opponent once it's triggered. Try to be there inside with him. If you can't, at least make sure that he ain't moving shit. And that's about it for a quick guide. I don't want to torture you with 30 minutes on something that's supposed to be 10. Hopefully less. As always, I ran out of time and already made a bit more, you know, it's unfortunate. There's so much more to say about traps, like beer trap setups, beer trap combos, how to play around radar, how to, you know, how to get someone that is aware. But as I said in the beginning, this is only a teaser. So if you want to learn more, just, you know, subscribe, let me know, it will come. But this whiteboard style, like drawing, explaining, showing in-game stuff, that's my style, that's my thing. Guides range from 30 minutes to 1 hour, depending on the topic and how much is to say. But you know, games are man-made things. There is always a lot to say about them. There's always more to know, more nuances. It really depends on you, how much time you are willing to invest to become better. Of course, all I could say is, well, tripwire cage, and that's it. But then you don't know half the story. Alright, so thank you for watching, and I hope to see you around.